What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. Adam Aaron was just on CNBC earlier with Jim Cramer talking about AMC earnings yesterday and the new special dividend. I want to go over exactly what he said. Now, I didn't make a video yesterday for two main reasons. One was I want to do some research. Has anything been brought to market similar to this before, and what was the reaction? And also field all of the questions I got on Twitter and on Discord. I'm going to cover everything A to Z. So let's get right into it. Before we do, we're seeing a bit of a gamma ramp on a Friday options expiration. Those 20s going in the money. Now, the past few quarters of earnings released, it seemed like we got that run up into earnings. Once the earnings were released, a bit of a sell-off and just a slow continuance. Clearly, you see that is not likely as of today. We got that break over that 1785 flag, off to the races, a bit of a gamma ramp, and volume still coming in heavy. It'll be nice to see exactly where we close. Now, on the daily time frame, it's clear right here you're seeing a massive breakout to the upside. You know the range is there. We'll see if there's a continuance going on. Now let's talk about the AMC preferred equity units. There's three things I want to cover. The AMC share count, how is that going to be affected? What influence that might have? I also want to talk about the convertibility, and then I want to talk about future dilution. I'm going to give you my honest opinion and breakdown out of all of this. Let's first get into the share count. So some people had said, listen, this might prove that there are more, shares issued. There's synthetic shares issued. Here's the thing, honestly, and we saw this happen with GameStop's, stock split via dividend, and that hasn't happened yet. Okay, and I think in the short term, it's a very, very low probability. One thing that could be a potential is this. If there are people out there that have been holding AMC for 12, 16, 18 months, and that August 19th date comes around, that August 22nd date when everybody's supposed to get their APE shares and they don't, and that's brought to light through their brokers, then there might be an issue. I think the probability is low in the short term. In the longer term, if that continues to be pressed, that might, obviously be an issue that needs to be crossed later on. But in the short term, I don't think so. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is the convertibility. And I think this one and the dilution is very important. I'm going to kind of tie them two together. So as you can see right here, there's the ability for the APE shares to be converted into AMC shares. Now, let me bring this back down for the past 2 years, and it's very important to know this, okay? First off, stocks that continuously get diluted, it's literally the death of them. You can go back and look at a bunch of references over history. What happens is constant dilution to raise capital, okay, puts zero faith in investors, and the stock price just continues to go down and down and down. And then inevitably what happens after that is a reverse stock split in order to be able to continually trading on either the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ. It is the death of tickers. There are a ton of references you can go and look at. Okay, so I do not believe that Adam Aaron wants to continuously dilute AMC stock. He's already taken it from 100 million shares to 500 million shares. The next thing is this. Think back to last year when he wanted the ability to be able to issue more shares. He wasn't going to issue more shares. He wanted the ability, and he asked all of his stock, holders a year ago before earnings came out. Okay, and he even went on live saying he would guarantee not to issue one in 2021. Well, here we are in August of 2022. Okay, so think about if that did go through. All right, but he knows that the stockholders, which is mostly retail, had said no to it. So his ability to issue more AMC shares is not there because the stockholders are going to decline that request. Now, as a CEO, he does not want to be backed into a corner. All right, you always want to have the ability to raise capital. Think about where we are right now. Now, 3 years ago, 13, 14 years ago, and 21 years ago, by definition, we were in a recession, okay? Back-to-back quarters of economic decline was a recession. Now, what happens in times of recession? Disposable income becomes less. Spending gets tighter. Households start budgeting a little bit more. What do they not cut back on? They don't cut back on gas. They don't cut back on their mortgages first, okay? They don't cut back on groceries. They cut back on travel, leisure, entertainment. This is in the back of Adam Aaron's mind. He says, listen, how am I going to continue to stay afloat if things change, let alone the whole monkeypox scare that is rising as of late? That is on the back of his mind as a CEO. You don't want to be backed into the corner, all right? It's like you having a maxed out credit card and not having another one, okay? Not having that secure savings. whatever it is, you don't want to be backed into a corner. So he wants the ability to raise capital. Okay. And that's where I think APE comes into. Now, he said today, and you can go look at this video, live with Jim Cramer. He said, listen, we're going to be issuing 516 million APE shares to the AMC stockholders. Okay. However, they've created 5 billion APE shares. All right. And he stated, now with the creation of 5 billion APE shares, we have the ability to take them to market to raise cash if needed. Okay. So what does that mean for AMC? If we're solely focusing on AMC, is that going to dilute AMC? Well, technically, no. Okay, if he raises more, if he issues more APE shares, he goes from 516 million to a billion. Now, would that dilute AMC? No, because AMC still sits at 516 million shares. Would that hurt AMC? Well, probably. Reason being is because their chances are APE is going to run off of sentiment. All right. Just like when you see, GameStop running, all the other memes sectors are running. All right. Even when you see something in like the EV sector, when Tesla gets bad news, it's pulling hard. Chances are Li Auto, Neo, Rivian, okay, XPEV, and all the other ones in that sector pull back with it. It's called sector sentiment. And I do believe APE will obviously be in that because clearly it's attached to AMC. So will it have a temporary pullback, a temporary decline? Absolutely. Would it dilute AMC stock? No. Do I think the conversion is even on the table? Not as of right now. Not as the way of the main documents are written. Obviously, I don't have them pulled up right now, but not as the main documents are written, what's written inside of it. Okay. However, the ability to dilute APE, well, it's clearly there. And if there are future struggles down the road with AMC, that's where they're going to go. It's exactly what he said. Take a look at this. You can Google this. You can probably find it on YouTube. Okay. And take a look at it. It explains it. It also explains, you get a good sentiment of where Adam Aron is with his mindset. He wants to take care of his retail investors, but he also wants to get the shorts off his back. He knows that the retail investors literally help save AMC stock, but he wants to make sure the funds don't continuously beat him down. He also wants to be able to utilize the market for what the market is for. Okay. And it's the ability to be able to sell portions of your company to be able to, in return, use that money to raise capital to do whatever he needs to do. He's already been paying off some of the debt. He's been changing around his business model, which is good. He wants to get those shorts off his back. This gives him the ability and opportunity, if needed, to raise capital indirectly. Okay. And I think it's very important that you remember that a year ago, we said no to the ability to sell more shares. All right. So he says in this video that they sold every single share that they had, bringing it from 100 million, their float from 100 million to 516 million. So that's exactly what I think this is. Now, in the longer term, if there are issues that arise from brokers, like I do here, issues with the stock split of GameStop, you can clearly better believe that's going to be, something to cross down the road. But as of right now, I think it's very short term. Let's continue to have this squeeze, and I'll see you in the next one.